I'm Khatiso Santo from Financial Mail Online. I'm interviewing our health writer, Andile Makholwa, about his article in the Spotlight. Andile, in the May 31st to 5th June article, you mention a very clear, obvious dichotomy between these healthcare private companies that are liable to their shareholders and are in fact obliged to make as much profit as they can. But yet there's also the increasing healthcare medical expenses in South Africa. What are your observations on this going forward?
We have a problem in South Africa of medical inflation, which is rising faster than consumer inflation. And while that is happening, you have a situation whereby private healthcare companies are actually making a lot of money, and which they are supposed to make because they are private companies. But then the problem is that consumers are also complaining about medical aid premiums that are actually very high at the moment, and government also talking about these costs of private healthcare and saying that there needs to be some regulation. And in the eyes of government, it looks as if they are making a lot of money while people are suffering. So it becomes a problem. So we are trying to actually, the Competition Commission has launched a probe, into some of the drivers of these healthcare costs to look at where the problem is. In South Africa, you have, when it comes to private hospitals, you have three dominant companies, which are Mediclinic, Life Healthcare, and Netcare. And people tend to think that, because we only have three companies that are dominant, maybe that is the problem, because these companies together control about 75% of the market.
These companies, they have interests in other parts of the world. As time goes on, do you think they will keep investing in South Africa?
They are South African companies, but at the same time, they also have rights to actually go to other markets, as they've already started. They have operations in other countries. But the question is, I think what needs to be watched is whether the proposed regulations that government wants to introduce are going to lead to a situation whereby we see these companies slowing their investment in the South African market and instead preferring to invest in other countries to that. But it is important that the Competition Commission, as it has started the probe, that it actually goes, that it does a wide investigation to establish what are the cost drivers and come up with appropriate recommendations without really, seeking to penalize the private sector for making money.
With these regulations that are going to take place from the government, what are your feelings about its impact on the industry going forward?
Well, it's likely that there are going to be price capping for both private hospital groups as well as doctors and specialists. But, government would be very careful not to actually create a situation whereby it introduces regulations that would actually make the industry not profitable, because if that becomes the case, then you will have a situation whereby the private sector isn't willing to invest in the economy.